I'm Professor Sports Cards, and I'm here to tell you you've been getting bad advice. Not a financial advisor, but I am a huge sports card collector. I opened my first box of cards at 5 years old. My grandfather bought me a box of 1990 NBA hoops. Not a valuable set. God, couldn't I have been born 5 years earlier? That's a bummer. Uh, but no, you've been getting bad advice. Get down to it. What do I like? I like two things, and I'm going to preach them to you in this series of videos at all times. Vintage NBA, so that includes anything as far back as 1948 Bowman. Mind you, from 1948 to 1969 Topps, there was one, two, Topps 1957, Fleer 1961, and then Topps 1969. So from 48 to 69, there was only 4 NBA sets. That's the beginning of basketball cards. It's like if you could go back in time and buy the Ty Cobbs or the Babe Ruths from the early 1900s, or even the late 1800s, the very first baseball cards, and that's what you can do with NBA. And NBA is going to age very well. The other thing I like is 80s wrestling. We're not going to talk about that at this point. Those are the two things I'm going to preach. I do want to focus on NBA for this point, and the main thing I want to focus on in this video is modern NBA versus vintage NBA. So for instance, this is a great card, right? Love Kobe, my favorite player of all time, great memories. This is a great card. However, this is about, we'll do the math. I'll figure it out here in a minute off camera, and you'll see it here. But I'm assuming before I do the math that this card, his rookie card, is about 20 to 100 times more rare than not this particular card, but a Kobe rookie, because Kobe has 16 different rookie cards. Kareem has 1, and it's very low pop count, probably lower pop count. Actually, it is much lower pop count. I think there's over 10,000 these Kobe's, including protector, non-protector. I know there's over 10,000, and not even close with this. Even though that Kobe is an awesome card, a great card, a legend, a beautiful card, and a good grade. Here's another one. I mean, this Luka, and any other Lukas. Think about all the other Lukas out there. I mean, that Kareem is, whatever the Kobe is, that Kareem is way more rare than this. Is so much more rare than this. And eventually we'll get to a stage where nobody saw Ja Morant play, and nobody saw these guys play live. They're too young. Ja Morant will retire in 15 years, and 15 years from then, no one will have seen this kid play, those kids that are collecting cards. And then they'll grow. So eventually, this is the card. These are the vintage cards that are going to age and appreciate far better than something like this. And also, if you want to get Kobe's established, his career's over, he did what he did. This is speculation on a very good player. This is done in history. So anyhow, I can't state enough that opening modern stuff, while opening wax is super fun, nothing like it. I mean, there's just nothing like opening wax. It's the funnest thing in the hobby. But that 250, that 400, that 600 could be a Dr. J rookie card. That $1,000 you spent in a couple months on packs or wax could be that Kareem rookie card. So I like vintage football, but not the same way vintage NBA. NBA ages. My perfect example for this is Jerry Rice and Michael Jordan. And you could make an argument the Jerry Rice card is undervalued, by the way. But they're both kind of the GOATs. I mean, Jerry Rice is literally the GOAT wide receiver, maybe, the best offensive player for not counting quarterback. Michael Jordan, they were both winners. They're both legends. They both have about the same amount of pop count. They both came out around the same time. They both only have 1 rookie card, yet you could go online and get a Jerry Rice rookie card for as cheap as $60-$70 in a decent grade, a 6, a 5, a 7, where a 6, a 5, a 7 in a Jordan is going to cost you at the moment, and the sports car market is down, $4,000, $5,000, $7,000. NBA we look at differently. It's going to age different. We look at the legends in the past and the history different than we look at NFL history past and Bart Starr and these. We it's not the same. We don't idolize. We don't. It's just not. Same thing with baseball, by the way. Baseball is, I feel, losing steam, but the legends and the stats are looked at differently than the NFL. I do like NFL, but I won't be preaching it the same way I'm preaching this vintage NBA. NBA started. The first cards not till the 40s, 1948. In 1970, there was only 4 prints of NBA prior. So I'm going to end it here, but vintage NBA is what you should be stocking up on. Do I want more competition? No. But I'm being completely honest that you should be stocking up on vintage NBA. That's 80s, 70s, 60s. By the way, if you're lucky enough to be able to afford stuff from the 50s, there's only one 1957 Topps, 61 Fleer. If you're lucky enough to be able to afford that, go. Stuff's down. Bill Russell has like no cards. Bob Cousy has like no cards. What, 2 or 3, 1, 4, something like this? They're gonna age very well. I'm not talking total. That's it. A player has more insert cards made today than Bob Cousy has, period. I'm ending it here. Professor Sports Cards. I'm going to keep pounding it in your head, and it sucks. I don't want you to go compete against me on eBay or ComC, but it's really 80s wrestling. That'll be for another time, and vintage shoes.
What up, everybody? This is Robert Ory, a.k.a. Big Shot Bob, and you're watching Professional Sports Cards. Hey, by the way, go buy my rookie card.